Welcome to Cooks. This is yet another in a series of mini classes. So we have the college girls here with us. We've been on lockdown now for better than 10 days.
Yeah,
12, 11,
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So for this particular mini class, we thought we would talk about salad.
We love salad in our house. It's almost every other night, particularly now that we're all eating at home every single night. We'll do kind of a power-packed salad just about every other night, adding proteins, adding roasted vegetables, adding things that everybody loves so we can make a whole meal out of it. Today we're taking a little bit of a lighter version on that. This would be a salad that you could use to accompany scrambled eggs or as a side.
Side salad. And I'm going to talk about vinaigrette. So why don't you talk about salad and then I'll jump in on how to make a vinaigrette.
So what we do is we love using arugula because it's a little bit sharp. It's got a little bite to it.
And it lasts.
And it'll hold up in your refrigerator for a long time. If you need to mix it with something else, if not everybody likes the peppery spice of the arugula, you can mix it with any other spring mix or even chopped up romaine. You can do anything. A mix of greens is always fabulous. In this case, we're going to use straight arugula right out of the box. What I'm going to do is take it out of the box. I'm going to dump it into the spinner strainer from my salad spinner, and I'm going to go wash it. And
So
I'll be back.
while you're washing that, I'm going to talk a little bit about vinaigrette. So Tracy, who's also sitting over here, just make sure I'm saying this correctly. A traditional vinaigrette is shallots, olive oil, Dijon mustard, vinegar, and a little honey if you want it to be a little sweet. Is that fair?
Absolutely.
So typical vinaigrette ratios are 3 parts oil to 1 part vinegar. So today we're going to talk about maybe our favorite ingredient, pantry ingredient of all pantry ingredients. It's called calamansi vinegar. It's like a citrus vinegar. It's from France. We use this, I bet, every single day in some form or fashion. We use it on beans, we use it on, certainly in salad dressing. We'll use it in soups, we'll use it on fish, we'll use it all the time. So calamansi, spectacular. The other thing we're going to talk about briefly is olio verde. It's a nice olive oil, and you can use any olive oil for this. When you're making a vinaigrette salad dressing, is a good time to use a better than inexpensive olive oil because you actually taste the olive oil. So we're going to start then with a little bit of shallot. So these are shallots, which I've diced. When you put the shallot right straight in your vinaigrette, you can have a little shallot bite to it. Marie's not super crazy about the bite of shallot in a vinaigrette. So what I did was I chopped up some shallot and I'll say I cured it, if you will, with a little white wine vinegar. One thing I'll say is white vinegar that's called just straight white vinegar that comes in a gallon container is really good for washing your floors. It's not as good for eating. So when we're making a vinaigrette, we'll use a white wine vinegar, or in this case here, for the vinaigrette, we're going to use the calamansi. But you could use apple cider vinegar, you could use a red wine vinegar, you can use, this case, white wine vinegar, champagne vinegar. The vinegars themselves have varying flavors of intensity, or degrees of intensity. So the calamansi is really super citrusy. So we're going to start with I'm straining out the shallots that we kind of cooked, if you will. This is probably a ½ teaspoon as I'm measuring, maybe slightly more. I'm actually going to double up on the the lemon sort of flavor. I have an organic lemon, which we're going to use these awesome microplane tools. We're going to add some lemon zest to this. Doing it in real time here. Lemon zest to the equation. I am also going to add a little bit of lemon itself. The thing with lemon is it can be really bitter, so we're not going to you could make the vinaigrette with just lemon juice, if that's all you had in the pantry. But if you did lemon and the combination of a little vinegar, the vinegar tends to take the bitterness out of the lemon. So I'm going to add the real lemon juice, and then I'm going to add a full tablespoon of the calamansi. I might use 2 full tablespoons. The calamansi has a little bit of sweetness to it. And it's not bitter at all. It's just super smooth and mellow. I will add a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. I'll grab my whisk. I'll integrate the mustard into the vinegar with the shallots, just to make a nice little, have it nicely incorporated. And now we'll add the olive oil to it. So we've heard that people really like exact measurements, so I'm going to follow the path. We're going to add 3 tablespoons of this really nice olio verde from Italy, which is spectacular. And we're just going to mix it up. So I always encourage people to make a vinaigrette rather than use a vinaigrette from a bottle, because the vinaigrette at home, you know exactly what's in it. If you look at your vinaigrette in a bottle, there's lots of preservatives in there. There's lots of 10, 11, 12 letter ingredients in there. When you have olive oil and vinegar, it's pretty much olive oil and vinegar. I have a little spoon, so I'm going to taste. We might add a little bit of salt to it. That is so tasty. A little bit of pepper. And in this instance, I am going to add just a little drizzle, if you will, of honey. Okay, so we've added a little bit of honey. And now I'm just going to whisk that in. Since we're using this particularly this morning, it's kind of a brunch, lunch. Here's what our options are when we're home. A little bit of sweet, I think, also complements the arugula, wouldn't you say? The sweet complements the arugula?
Yes, would.
Oh, okay, that's really nice. So, ready with the arugula there?
I'm ready. Okay, so I've washed the arugula. Even though the box says they are triple washed, I always wash them just to be on the safe side. And then I kind of look through here and I pick out the ones that look a little brown or a little yellow. Arugula, like we said, is usually pretty good. It's so sturdy and it holds up. And a lot of times you don't have a lot. So then I'm going to put it in my salad spinner. I'm going to lock it, I'm going to unlock it, and we're going to just spin the water out. You kind of want as close to the dry leaves as possible because the oil won't stick to the leaves if there's water on them. And then you kind of slow it down, but this one's a little broken, so it's kind of gonna keep going.
Just take it out.
So we're just gonna stop.
There you go, perfect.
So then you can see it took all that water out, which is great. We're gonna dump that on. And now we're ready to put the greens in the bowl. Just dump them on in.
So as if the arugula weren't zippy enough, Marie likes to put a little bit of super thin shaved radish in there, right? Honey?
Love the radish. First what I do though is I always salt the greens a little bit.
Salt.
Thank you. So I add just a little bit of salt and I kind of move that around. Just helps spread everything out a little bit more evenly.
And this is a good time to practice your
Now-
knife skills make a super thin, using a very nice sharp knife that slices through radishes really nicely. So I like them really thin. These are also great radishes when you're making tacos, by the way.
So just sprinkle a few of those thin sliced radishes right on the greens, and love this wood salad bowl. It's from Winsome Goods here, based in Minnesota. And then we put a little bit of dressing on. Everyone always asks, how do you not overdress a salad? And the trick is you just you kind of start lightly, just a little bit, and then you mix it up. Normally you would have larger salad tossers. And toss it up. And then when it looks like it's fairly coated, just give one leaf a test.
And as you're tossing, you can look in the bottom of the salad bowl, and if you have a puddle of dressing in the bottom of the salad bowl, that's usually not a good
Well, at that point, then you just want to add more greens to the salad bowl. If you've overdressed, just throw more greens in. As you saw, that was about a tablespoon and a half for a half a box of greens, and it's perfect. It's really, it taste tested really well. Then sprinkle a little fresh cracked pepper on there, as much as you like, and you're ready to go. Beautiful.
Beautiful. It's the showpiece. So,
Oh, one other thing I was going to say. When you're making the salad dressing, you can see we have some left over. What I like to do is make enough for the week. So I will take the recipe, which will be found on our blog. I'll take the recipe and I will triple it, and that will get us through a good week of salads. You can put it in a squeeze bottle, you can put it in a glass pour bottle, a jar, anything that you've got that you can seal up and put in the refrigerator.
And when it's in the fridge, then the olive oil will get a little thick, but because there's so much acid in it, if you take the jar out of the refrigerator, put it on the counter, let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes, it usually softens up enough that you give it a really good shake, and then you're good to go again.
And you can pour it on, but that's a little trick so that you don't have to take the time to make this every time you're making a fresh salad.
So, thanks for swinging by Cooks. On www.cooksofcrocushill.com, there's a little button on the top. I keep doing this, it's the button finger. Boop, push the button, and you'll see all our videos as well as information about Cooks.
And the recipes.
Stay safe, feed your family well.
Thanks, everyone.